Here's what Jaguar Wright had to say about 50 Cent's documentary.
It was done too well. It left out too many things.
So can you speak on Curtis Jackson? 50 Cent said that this is the first one.
I'm
He said
sure.
that there's hundreds of hours of more footage.
I'm sure. There was hundreds of hours of that was confiscated from all of Diddy's homes in that HSI raid that never made it to the trial. I wonder where it made it to.
And the real reason why Jaguar Wright refused to join his documentary is even more surprising. Gene Deal, the man often described as someone close to Diddy, was also not part of 50 Cent's documentary. Both Jaguar and Gene Deal are now said to be in talks with 50 Cent about a possible second season. And we've got all the details, starting with why Gene says he stepped away from what he described as a trap.
While I'm not in the thing, the lady was talking greasy to me. She had no right to talk greasy to me. And then she told me that 50 didn't have the power to do anything, but they using his name to like push the whole documentary. And that's what it was about.
Let's start from the beginning. About a month after Diddy's reported arrest in September 2024, 50 Cent and Netflix announced they were working on a documentary that would explore his career and controversies. 50 Cent promoted the project heavily, and in interviews at the time, he suggested that he had been gathering material and insights for years.
In particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way you represent the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah, and then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize the...
As much stuff has come, like when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years.
Now, 50 Cent believed that one of the people with the most information about Diddy was Gene Deal. Gene had been around Diddy for years and has spoken publicly about his experiences. 50 wanted Gene in his documentary and had been posting clips of Gene Deal on his Instagram for a long time. He even reached out to try and convince him to be part of it.
A lot of people want to know why you wasn't in it, man.
Well, first and foremost, you know, I thought I was going to be in the documentary at first until I started talking to that director. I think her name is Stapleton. I don't know her name. I don't know, man. Me and 50 talked like 45 minutes. The producers had been calling me and everything. So this one night, 50 called me up and, you know, they got him on the phone. Me and him was just talking. We was talking about old time down with Black Hands, sit down with, you know, with Puff Kids, the whole Puff situation, and this documentary that he's gonna be doing. You know what I'm saying? So I told him that I was going to, you know, have Kirk and Tim. Kirk would be the one who talk about the business part of it. Tim would be the one who talk about the growing up phase with Diddy and everything, like, and over there working in the record industry with him and stuff like that. They was like family. And I was gonna talk about, you know, the street stuff, what was going on with Bad Boy, you know, with the security, with Wolf, with the city college, with, you know, the time that I knew about when I was with him up until about early 2004, something like that. But basically the streets and then the traveling with him and the atmosphere and everything. And then go back into the Notorious Big stuff with the Tupac and the whole 9 yards, all the stuff that I knew, you know what I'm saying? So we was talking and he sounded like, yo, listen here, they gonna spare no expense with this whole documentary. So I said, all right, cool.
50 Cent was reportedly ready to bring Gene Deal on board, recognizing the value of his perspective. Gene began preparing his side, reaching out to people like Kirk Burroughs and others in the industry who had spoken about Diddy in the past. He wanted to make sure everything was in place before committing to the project, but when Gene contacted the producer, he later claimed he felt something wasn't right. According to his account, he believed the situation was being handled differently than expected and questioned how the documentary was being presented, including concerns about how his image and involvement might be used.
And then she was calling me like I was lying. I was like, yo, who do you think you talking to? You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about, there's no way nobody paid. Nobody what? I say, first of all you people come with these documentaries and stuff, the first thing you tell me, y'all tell these people out here that y'all don't pay, and y'all pay. If you can make a picture look like $10,000, $15,000, you know what I'm saying? You can sit here and tell me that you're gonna pay me for my time sitting right down here with y'all. You understand? So then, one thing led to another, and I was like, all right, well then, F you, I spoke to 50, and then she said 50, and this is exact words that came out her mouth. 50 does not determine what goes in and go out of this documentary. And he definitely don't pay, he determine what somebody get paid. It's not his documentary like that. I was like, oh, so if it's not his documentary and I spoke to him like that, I don't need to be doing nothing with you because I'm doing this on the strength of him. But you gonna pay me if I do it. So it went back and forth, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit. And then they had Kirk Burrows giving me calls and everything like that. What are you calling me for? You know what I'm saying? I'm not, get out of here. I know what kind of dude you is anyway. Me and you cool and everything, Kirk, but don't call me about no business with this stuff like that. And then what I found out is that he was making a deal, cutting a deal for himself as well as Tim.
It wasn't about the money. It was about supporting 50 Cent and what he was trying to do. Once Gene Deal felt that the documentary might not align with those expectations, he chose to step away. From his perspective, important stories weren't being fully represented, and that became a major concern. This is also why there have been talks about 50 working on a second part independently, possibly releasing it on YouTube, as he appears to want more control over how the story is told rather than relying on Netflix.
Oh, you seen this new interview by 50 that went viral where he revealed that he still got unreleased footage?
I seen an interview about, he said that he had a lot of footage had to be down, the documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that, because a documentary is a documentary, and they could have had 45 minutes, they could have had an hour, to each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. Situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just gonna let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that they know that they took my idea. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She could say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim, and...
Gene says he respects 50 Cent because he believes 50 is being direct and transparent compared to Diddy. From his perspective, 50 was focused on telling the story as he saw it. Freddie P., who has also spoken publicly about these situations, supported 50's approach. He was contacted by producers and spoke with 50 Cent as well, and according to his account, he felt that 50 was one of the few people involved who was focused on the broader impact of the story.
But what Fifth was doing was, he wasn't budging. I give him credit for that, you know what I'm saying? They're like, hey man, it wasn't even about the money. It was basically a response from his team, basically like, listen, we doing this on the strength of, we want people to get their story out. We want people who really was affected by him to tell their story. We don't want to base this on money. If we base this on money, then it kind of salts down, you know what. So a lot of people, when you see them telling their stories on that DVD, that's why I give the authentication of it. Is so he made sure that you was only here to, if you want to tell it, tell it. I ain't trying to put nothing in your pocket. I ain't trying to incite you or coerce you to tell nothing against this man that didn't happen. If you gonna tell it, tell it. If you got something to say and you really want the world to hear it, say it. I'm not gonna pay you extra to do it. And I gave them respect for that. And basically, they were basically like, man, this not money motivated. You know, we're not moving numbers around just so people can come talk.
And as for Jaguar Wright, she has publicly criticized the documentary, saying she believes it doesn't reflect the full picture. She chose not to be part of the Netflix project because, in her view, major industry productions may avoid certain sensitive topics. After watching it, she said her concerns were reinforced, pointing out that several well-known figures, including Clive Davis, Jay-Z, and Oprah Winfrey, were not discussed.
The story isn't over. I agree. Like, that's the thing. The story's not even being told. Because in order to tell the actual whole story, you would have to include everyone that is involved. But no, this is about saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Okay, Diddy's going to jail. He's going to do his time. I don't know what that appeal is looking like right now. Because see, the one thing that all of this documentary shit is doing is definitely fucking up his possibility for an appeal to get out early. Especially with the judge and them and the appeal board having to look at the footage of him sitting there with Mark Agnifilo, pretty much working on how to fix the trial.
And for him to be watching the feds watching him.
Yeah, filming the feds. Watch.
Filming.
At this point, some critics argue that Diddy is being singled out while broader questions about the industry remain unaddressed. They feel the focus has been placed heavily on one individual rather than examining the bigger picture. According to this perspective, the documentary didn't fully explore those wider concerns or raise deeper questions about how influence and accountability work across the industry.
They did what they needed to do in this documentary. The whole objective of this documentary was to blame it all on Diddy. The devil made me do it. Blame it all on Diddy. And the rest of the industry is nothing like this. Like when Curtis Jackson sat there in his interview with Robin and sat there and said, I did this because I don't want people thinking that the hip hop community is okay with this kind of behavior. I don't want them thinking that, we're just going to be silent while all of this is going on. Like, we're okay with this kind of behavior. And my thing is huh? So now you speaking for all of hip hop, and all of hip hop is uncomfortable with this. Meanwhile, you got people like Ja Rule who, on the low key, allegedly, Gene Deal has exposed for having his own nude tryst freak-offs with it.
Jaguar Wright has suggested that if more information about the broader situation involving Diddy ever came out, it could have a major impact on the entertainment industry. She and others online have questioned how such allegations could go unnoticed for so long and have raised concerns about accountability and awareness within powerful industry circles. These are ongoing discussions and claims being debated publicly, with no definitive conclusions.
If the complete and utter truth comes out, 3 things happen. The entertainment industry collapses completely. Millions, possibly billions of advertising dollars don't get made. People go broke. Companies go under. That's why they hate me. Not because I'm telling the truth on people. Because I'm telling the truth about the system. And I'm showing people the reality that the only thing that matters is that dollar. These entities, these companies, they don't care about none of these people. They don't care about none of these victims. They don't care about the perpetrators. They don't care about the prey. Shit, half the time, they're encouraging the predator. They don't care. It's all about the money.
the fact that Netflix reportedly had access to claimed unreleased footage shortly after Diddy's arrest has raised questions for some viewers. From their perspective, parts of the story feel unclear or inconsistent. One of the main selling points of the documentary was the promise of unseen material, but there has been ongoing debate online about when and how that material was actually obtained. When the documentary was first announced, it was also unclear what footage would ultimately be included.
He announced he was going to be doing the documentary December 2023 with Netflix. And the star footage that you use to get people to re-upload or resubscribe to Netflix to make this the #1 in their TV shows division for almost 2 weeks straight. Beating out Stranger Things. How much stranger is that?
I'm not Beckham.
This footage didn't even exist when you said you were going to be doing this documentary. So we've got a videographer, a road videographer that has this very, very, very explosive, very explosive footage of him literally sitting on camera, planning how to go after survivors, how to poison the jury pool, how to fix his trial in advance before he's even arrested. I mean, like, is anybody not forgetting when Mark Agnifilo was sitting there talking to the sons in the hallway, and they're sitting there filming, and he's sitting up there, yeah, well, see, what we got to do is we got to go and we got to put countersuits on all of these people. We have to create lawsuits ourselves. He's sitting there talking about creating lawsuits to affect public perception. He's talking about that with the
50 Cent, Gene Deal, and Jaguar are often described by supporters as focusing on bringing attention to their version of events. While critics argue the documentary space has different priorities, 50 Cent has faced both support and backlash for his involvement in the project, with strong reactions coming from different sides of the industry. Some people view his approach as bold, while others disagree with how the story is being presented. Overall, the situation has created tension online, with public opinion split and discussions continuing around motives, narratives, and representation.
I tell 50 Cent, man, I hope you're walking on a straight arrow, man, because they waiting to see you fall. They want to see you fall so bad, brother. I'm talking about, man, I'll be in the comments and I'll be just reading it like, oh, 50 got his day coming. Like, why y'all so upset about a pedophile? Like, it's stuff that y'all don't. It's so many people, right, that's victims of Puffy that can't speak, that's sitting back like, shut the f. You know what I'm saying? Like, they basically saying, you don't even know half of it. If I was to come and say my story, not me personally, but I'm saying, I've heard that 2 or 3 times. If I tell my story, but no, I'm not trying to clout chase, I'm not trying to be a part of this, a part of that. And I'm like, hey, man.
We mama started following each other on IG an hour ago. Prepare for the worst. Jay-Z, Ja Rule, Roc Nation, Desiree Perez are out to get him out of the paint. Alert. Listen here. Everybody that is said, and Desiree Perez, all them people got dirt under them, bro. You understand? All them people got dirt on their fingernails. Jay-Z got dirt in his fingernails. You understand? Jay-Z was messing with young girls from our block. Tiring them. I'm putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking a side. Desiree, husband, was a former drug dealer that she turned on a whole cartel. All of them got dirt on them. And 50 got they dirt. You understand? 50 gonna know they dirt. Because 50 got investigators, he got people that's in the street. So if they go at him, listen here, I deem him like myself, 10 times the normal man. He gonna do what he gotta do. And the whole thing about it is they trying to retaliate on him for something he did to somebody else. I feel that it's something worth seeing. It's something worth coming around, because all that shit about to fall. All that shit that we seen in the industry, these demons want to have sex and turn little boys into little girls into little boys. That's just about to go out the window, bro.
The more surprising part of this prediction, according to online discussions, is that something similar appears to be unfolding. Shortly after Gene Deal shared his concerns with 50 Cent, reports emerged that Diddy's family had partnered with the Zeus Network on a documentary focusing on their perspective. The trailer, as described online, suggests that Diddy himself may also be featured in the project.
Sean Diddy Combs' sons, Justin and Christian, are teasing a new docuseries about their family. Justin and Christian King Combs appear in a new trailer released December 28th to Instagram by Zeus Network's founder. In the trailer, Justin and Christian sit on a couch in a screening room while a series of headlines about their father cycle on screen. At the end of the trailer, Justin's phone vibrates and he answers a collect call from the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institute, where Combs is currently behind bars. No release date for the docuseries is given, though the teaser says viewers can expect it at some point in 2026. Combs shares Justin with ex-Misa Hilton and Christian with the late Kim Porter. The rapper is also dad to 34-year-old son Quincy and daughters Chance, 19, twins Delilah and Jesse, also 19, and Love, who is 3 years old. Combs was transferred to Fort Dix from the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York in late October after he was sentenced to 50 months in prison on prostitution-related convictions.
Zeus Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York, hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? You apologize on behalf of your father. Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still support your father's innocent? Your dad is up for you! Your dad is up for you for abusing women! That's wrong! You can never work!
The family, the foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the lies, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative, once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on two separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin, saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme coin that's on their shirt. It's money sign Diddy.
Gene Deal, according to online commentary, anticipated some of the backlash and shifting narratives around the situation involving 50 Cent. There are claims circulating that future projects could include personal criticism or focus on 50 Cent's private life. Though these remain speculative and unverified, supporters of Diddy's family project say it will present their perspective, while critics online believe it may also lead to more public disputes between both sides.
First of all, they're going to try to get his baby mama stories. You know, they're going to try to get 50 baby mama stories. They're going to try to get girls that he probably dated, that he had problems and issues with and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to try to do the same thing they probably did to R. Kelly or Puff or whatever like that, and people tell their stories. You understand? But, you know, they trying to retaliate on what he did. Let him go ahead, bruh. Because I think he ready for it. You don't do this and you don't do the stuff that he did or sign on to the stuff that he did with Puff. Unless you got your in order. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. I believe 50 ready for it. If they come at him any kind of way.
Season 2 is being positioned, according to online commentary, as going beyond streaming numbers or corporate approval. It's being described as an attempt to revisit details that some feel were left out, including names, connections, and unanswered questions. What it ultimately proves or reveals remains to be seen. Drop a comment below. Do you think Diddy was acting alone, or is there more to the story than what's been publicly shown?